Why don't you come there? Up.
नमस्कार मित्रों, भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस की ओर से हम हमारे तीनों मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय तरुण गोगोई जी, औक्रमी बॉबी सिंह जी, नबम टुक्की जी, नारायण सामी जी, सीपी जोशी जी का स्वागत करते हैं। To put it very briefly, Indian National Congress has steadfastly championed and sacrificed for upholding the territorial integrity of India and finding lasting peaceful solutions to various insurgencies and militancy in different parts of India. Peace, prosperity and social harmony have always been an article of faith for Indian National Congress, particularly in North Indian states. We have not only tackled insurgency and militancy with a strong hand, but Congress Party has also ensured that we find a responsible and a lasting peaceful solution by engaging with those ultra groups or militant groups who were waging a war, by ensuring that they lay down their arms and find peace within the framework of India's constitution. This innate belief in the principle of national consensus, cooperative federalism, and upholding the territorial integrity of India led to signing of many peace agreements and accords, including the Punjab Accord, and in context of the states of Northeast, the Assam Peace Accord on 15th of August 1985 by late Shri Rajiv Gandhi, and then the Mizo Peace Accord on 25th of June 1986 by late Shri Rajiv Gandhi and the Congress government. Considering the unique history of Naga people, successive efforts have been made from 1947 onwards for finding a lasting and peaceful solutions. We are going to send to you a brief history of various peace agreements from 1947 onwards, and the last one, continuance of the temporary ceasefire agreement on 31st July 2007 between NSC and IM and the then Congress government headed by Dr. Manmohan Singh. Now on 3rd of August 2015, Modi government headed by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has entered into a Naga peace agreement with NSC and IM. Congress Party fully supports the attempt to find a lasting peaceful solution of the Naga problem within our constitutional framework. It is with this view in mind that Indian National Congress has welcomed the initiative of government for a peace agreement with NSC and IM. We also deprecate in the strongest possible terms attempt by certain elements within the ruling establishment to politicize a peace agreement in the interest of the country in political terms as is being sought to be done. To put very briefly in Hindi, भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस सदैव देश की अखंडता और हमारे संवैधानिक ढांचे के अंदर भिन्न भिन्न समस्याओं का स्थायी और शांतिपूर्ण हल निकालने की पक्षधर रही है। इसके लिए हमने अनेकों बलिदान भी दिए हैं। खास तौर से उत्तर पूर्व राज्यों में शांति, संपन्नता और सद्भाव हमारे लिए विश्वास का एक आधार रहा है। भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस ने अनेकों बार इंसर्जेंसी से निपटने के लिए, आतंकवाद से निपटने के लिए और भारत के संघीय ढांचे और संविधान के अनुरूप उन पक्षों या धड़ों से जो हथियार उठाए थे, शांति प्रिय समझौता किया, उनके हथियार सरेंडर करवाए और उन्हें संविधान की मुख्य धारा में हम लेकर आए। इसी कड़ी में 3 महत्वपूर्ण समझौतों की मैं संक्षिप्त में व्याख्या करना चाहता हूं। पंजाब में शांति की बहाली का आधार राजीव जी ने पंजाब शांति समझौते के साथ किया। उत्तर पूर्व के हमारे प्रांतों में खास तौर से 15 अगस्त 1985 को असम शांति समझौता और 25 जून 1986 को मिजो शांति समझौता हुआ। नागा मूल के अद्वितीय इतिहास को देखते हुए 1947 से आज तक अनेकों बार शांति की प्रक्रिया भिन्न भिन्न सरकारों, खासतौर कांग्रेस सरकारों के द्वारा चलाई गई। 1947 के नागा अकबर हैदरी समझौते से लेकर और आखिरी बार 31 जुलाई 2007 को NSCN-IM और उस समय की सरकार के मुखिया डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी के बीच जो 25 जुलाई 1997 के सीज फायर एग्रीमेंट को इंडेफिनिट कंटिन्यू किया गया था, अनेकों बार इस बारे में कोशिशें की गई। 3 अगस्त 2015 को मोदी सरकार और NSCN-IM के बीच एक शांति समझौता हुआ। भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस हमेशा से ही नागा समस्या का देश के संविधान की परिधि में शांतिप्रिय हल निकालने की पक्षधर रही है और इसलिए हमने सरकार की इस शांति वार्ता और शांति समझौते का खुले मन से स्वागत किया। दुर्भाग्य से सरकार में कुछ ऐसे व्यक्ति भी हैं जो इस नागा शांति समझौते का भी राजनीतिकरण करना चाहते हैं, परंतु एक जिम्मेवार राजनीतिक दल के तौर पर हम कई मुख्य बातें इस नागा शांति समझौते से उभर कर आई हैं, वो देश के लोगों और उत्तर पूर्व के लोगों की ओर से जनता के समक्ष रखना चाहते हैं। सबसे पहले प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने नागा शांति समझौता दस्तखत करने से पहले, दस्तखत करते हुए या दस्तखत करने के बाद 3 प्रभावित प्रांतों, जिनके आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री इस पटल पर मौजूद हैं, असम, अरुणाचल प्रदेश और मणिपुर, तीनों से कोई वार्तालाप नहीं किया। संघीय ढांचे की इससे घोर उल्लंघना कोई और हो नहीं सकती, खास तौर से जब ये चारों प्रांत स्पेशल कैटेगरी स्टेट्स हैं और संविधान की धारा 371 ए, बी, एच और सी में इसकी व्याख्या की गई है। ऐसे में देश के प्रधानमंत्री द्वारा चुनी हुई पॉपुलर सरकारों और उनके मुखियों को विश्वास में ना लिया जाना प्रधानमंत्री और मोदी सरकार के घोर अहंकार और कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म के सिद्धांत के घोर उल्लंघन का सबसे बड़ा सबूत है। not consulting the chief ministers of the three affected states of Arunachal, Assam and Manipur by the Honorable Prime Minister is a gross violation of the principles of cooperative federalism on part of the Prime Minister and Modi government. Secondly, what is most dismaying is that a minister of the Union, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, yesterday misled the nation on behalf of the government when she said that the chief ministers of the three states were invited for talks but they refused. We want to clarify that the meeting being referred to by Modi government in hindsight now as a lame duck excuse was the meeting of the full Niti Ayog called to discuss the amendments proposed by Modi government to Right to Fair Compensation Act 2013. All Congress chief ministers, being opposed to the land ordinance brought by Modi government, had in advance declared that they will be boycotting the Niti Ayog meeting. It is on that day that Northeast chief ministers were invited by the Prime Minister for a meeting. With a sense of responsibility and in presence and on behalf of the three chief ministers and governments, we want to state that Prime Minister or Modi government did not state or circulate orally or in writing any agenda qua the proposed Naga peace accord, nor were the Honorable Chief Ministers informed that under discussion would be this issue. On the contrary, all Northeast Chief Ministers have been asking for an audience with the Prime Minister for 6 months to discuss the special category status for Northeastern states, but Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi found no time, unfortunately and regrettably, even to meet the Chief Ministers of Northeastern states. Thirdly and most shocking is 3 अगस्त 2015 को समझौता होता है, संसद चल रही है, आज तक देश के प्रधानमंत्री समझौते की शर्तों और समझौते के प्रारूप को लेकर संसद को विश्वास में नहीं लेते। उससे भी दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण बात यह है कि आज तक उनके मंत्रिमंडल को भी, देश के मंत्रिमंडल को भी समझौते की शर्तें और प्रारूप की जानकारी नहीं। पहली बार शायद देश के इतिहास में कोई शांति समझौता हुआ जिस पर आज तक मंत्रिमंडल ने कई दिन निकलने के बाद मोहर नहीं लगाई और ना ही वो मंत्रिमंडल को पेश किया गया। और केवल इतना नहीं, जो संबंधित मंत्रालय है, गृह मंत्रालय, जिस दिन समझौता हो रहा था उसके मिनटों पहले तक देश के गृह मंत्री, गृह सचिव और गृह मंत्रालय को ऐसे किसी समझौते की कोई जानकारी नहीं थी। सबसे ज्यादा चौंकाने वाली और गंभीर बात यह भी है, जो हमें सूचना मिली है कि देश के गृह सचिव ने प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालय को चिट्ठी लिखकर यह पूछा है कि समझौते की शर्तें क्या हैं और प्रारूप क्या है, कम से कम गृह मंत्रालय को तो बता दिया जाए। और इससे भी गंभीर बात यह है कि पूरे उत्तर पूर्व में हमारी सीमा की रक्षा की जिम्मेवारी हमारी सुरक्षा एजेंसियों को है। आज के समाचार पत्रों में भी ये लिखा गया है कि देश की फौज ने गृह मंत्रालय को पत्र लिखकर ये पूछा है कि समझौते की क्या शर्त हैं, क्या प्रारूप है, किस प्रकार फौज के रोल की भूमिका और उत्तर पूर्व की भूमिका पर इस समझौते से फर्क पड़ने वाला है। शायद पहली बार इतना घोर अविश्वास खुद के मंत्रिमंडल पर, देश की संसद पर, सभी राजनीतिक दलों पर, संबंधित मंत्रालय पर और यहां तक कि अब देश की सेना पर भी प्रधानमंत्री जी का देखने में आया है। अपने आप में न केवल ये निंदनीय है, परंतु ये दिखाता है कि किस प्रकार से एक व्यक्ति का एक छत्रवाद इस देश में चल रहा है। ये भी हम याद दिलाना चाहेंगे प्रधानमंत्री जी को कि हमेशा जब इस प्रकार का कोई शांति समझौता होता है तो प्रधानमंत्री उसको मंत्रिमंडल से पारित करवाते हैं, सब ऑल पार्टीज बैठक बुलाई जाती है, संसद को विश्वास में लिया जाता है। जब असम समझौता 15 अगस्त 1985 को हुआ था तो 16 अगस्त 1985 को श्री राजीव गांधी जी ने ऑल पार्टी बैठक बुलाई थी और समझौते की सारी शर्तें सार्वजनिक पटल पर रख दी गई थी। इसके बाद संसद की बैठक बुलाई गई और संसद में ये रखा गया। कई राजनीतिक दलों ने समेत लेफ्ट पार्टीज और फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉक के बड़े वरिष्ठ पत्रकार यहाँ हैं, उन्हें याद होगा, उसका विरोध भी किया था। जब मीजो समझौता 25 जून 1986 को हुआ तो राजीव जी ने वो सारा मामला 30 जून 1986 को देश के सामने रख दिया था और भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो आज सत्तासीन है उन्होंने मीजो समझौते का विरोध किया था। ये प्रजातंत्र की प्रक्रिया है जिसके अनुरूप शांति समझौते खास तौर से जब वो एक से ज्यादा प्रांत को प्रभावित होते हैं तो किए जाते हैं। एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, आई वेरी ब्रीफली वांट टू पॉइंट आउट, वी हैव सप्लाइड टू यू copy of the press release issued by General Secretary of NSC and IM. It talks about two things. Firstly, it talks about a framework agreement. We've sent it on your email, sir. The contours of the framework agreement need to be placed A. before the Union Cabinet, B. before all party meeting, C. before Indian Parliament, and D. last but not the least, all the states who are affected have to be taken into confidence. It also talks about a possible political solution. These are the words used. A possible political solution to be arrived at in later. How much later would it be arrived at? What is the framework of that possible political solution? Does it affect territorial integrity or boundaries of these states? How does it affect the entire gamut of Northeast? How does it affect the role of the Indian Army? Are all questions that Prime Minister of the country needs to answer. Prime Minister cannot be so single person army that he tramples upon the entire legal and constitutional edifice of this country while arriving at agreements which are known only to him. So that is why the three honorable chief ministers and the two in charges have come here to place facts in public domain and state that this is not only violative of the cooperative federalism, but it also demolishes the edifice of the entire constitutional gamut so painstakingly built by forefathers of India and India's constitution. And that is something that Shri Narendra Modi must ponder over, look within, and there is no way that popular elected governments and the constitutional edifice can be demolished and trampled upon by a Prime Minister in this fashion. I would now request the Honorable Chief Minister to very briefly add a few lines and then you can ask questions.
Sir, I will take this out. I think I will take it.
My first objection is the Prime Minister has violated the principle of democracy and parliamentary practice by not taking into confidence the Prime Minister. My first principle, gross violation of the principle of democratic and parliamentary procedure by not taking into approval of the cabinet, not expressing in Mann Ki Baat, he doesn't know his own colleague also. Fellow who talks of Mann Ki Baat for the whole of the people of the India, but he doesn't want to convey it to his own colleague. Then another basic principle is he has to lay down or the statement before the parliament when the parliament is is a gross violation of the democratic principle in parliamentary democracy. That's a great. Secondly, another point I want to raise, how Robi can be a signatory? He's an intellectual. He cannot represent the government of India. It must be either secretary or the joint secretary. How? There is no validity. It cannot be a valid document. R.N. Ravi, interlocutor, yes, or on behalf of, there is an agreement between the government of India and MSNI. So it has, on behalf of the government of India, the head of the department, either Home Secretary or the joint secretary, somebody has to represent government. He cannot represent the government of India. Secondly, also, everybody know what is the NSNI? Naga National Council of Nagaland. There is a difference between NNC. Earlier it was called Naga National Council and the PU. Subsequently, this is known NSCN IM. Naga Socialist Council of Nagaland. So has they given out the demand of the Nagaland? This is my question to Mohibiao. Has they given, or earlier the dispute was between the Nagaland and Bombay confined them. That has been the crux of the problem with Assam, with Arunachal, with the Manipur also. But if it is confined within the Nagaland, nobody has an objection. But if it affects Assam or the Arunachal, and that has been their demand, Naga in immediate areas of the neighboring states, has been given up. And why the government is keeping such an important document, keeping it secret even today? Even today, why? Is it a taking confidence of political party also? Why? It raises a doubt also. It raises. And what is history? Historical. Is it a historical agreement? What is Modi's statement? He says, I will tell you, with all faith and confidence, we believe that an honorable, peaceful political solution will be worked out before long. That means solution has not yet arrived. This is Modi's statement. Just now I have seen. He says he is waiting for a political solution before long. So no political solution has arrived as far as the Modi. That was his first statement. So what is a historical, what is a great achievement? Achievement is can be assuming that dictatorial power, ignoring North-Eastern chief minister, ignoring the cabinet colleagues, ignoring the parliament, what is all of the parliament. Never before in the history of Indian democracy, such an ignorance, blatant violation by a prime minister. That is my point.
Is it your factor that the chief minister do along with Arunachal and
Sunil, if you don't mind, just very briefly let them say and then we'll take questions. I'm sorry for interrupting. I know.
Okay, then this is we did consult also. Earlier also I did. I give you one good example. Previous government, NDA government, under the Vajpayee, when the ceasefire agreement was arrived at, he did consult with all the chief ministers. I opposed something, and they didn't think. So we discussed with Assam chief minister, as Assam I know, the problem answer. For extension of ceasefire, with the same group, with the extension of the same group, the Prime Minister discussed with my previous chief ministers. He agreed. After that, of course, I became a chief minister. I opposed. Then, of course, this thing also opposed. Then it was excluded. For extension of ceasefire, the same Indian government under Vajpayee, he did discuss with the chief minister's council. And today the great departure, that is our. You see? So, I don't want to go into details. Fact that we are completely ignored is a Siddharana statement. It is absolutely the voodoo, to mislead the people. Till today we don't know. I have a doubt whether Chief Minister of Nagaland has been consulted. I have a doubt whether he knows the contents. Even the people of Naga, they don't know. Who knows? Only the Moody knows. No other people know except the Ravi. Whole country, such a document, except the two fellows in the world knows. Rest are ignored. This is the history, document, whatever.
Would you like to add something?
Yeah.
About this Modi's, what he mentioned when at the time of signing that historic agreement, historic Naga Accord, peace accord. By the time we are quite surprised. Hey, kya ho gaya, what is happening? And immediately I spoke to Rajnath ji, and he kept up his response. Rajnath ji, what is happening? This is an historic accord. Why the concern who is really will affect, like Manipur is not informed to us. Anyway, we would like to get the full text of that accord. He said that, EOBG, I am going to give full text statement on the floor of the Lok Sabha, that is on Parliament. But next day he didn't give. I am coming here to seek appointment. Where is that full text? We would like to know. And before yesterday, Kiran Rijiju, Honorable Minister of State Home, he is also belongs from Arunachal Pradesh, and Donor Minister Dr. Jitendra, they visited Manipur in connection with the recent flood. And he said that before the press, this is nothing but simply framework of this peace accord. But at the level of the Honorable Prime Minister, just for framing of a framework, why they say that it is a historic peace accord. So people of Manipur, they are keeps on asking to us, where is state government? If the state government of Manipur have no idea, who will know the full text of this peace accord? That's why we could not sit there. You know, Manipur has a lot of problems regarding inner line permit or recent flood, people die is there. Even then, we could not sit there. We could not sit there in Manipur. That's why we are coming. I don't know whether they will give appointment or not. Rajnath ji, of course, I hope he will definitely give, including Honorable Prime Minister also. I would like to meet and what are the full text of this historic accord we would like to know. Otherwise, people of Manipur will start. You know, Manipur always staging dharna, agitation from different issues. Now this is the latest. And also yesterday, and day before yesterday, the Commerce and Industry Minister, Chitamai, what she said, when Prime Minister invited for discussion of the Northern State Chief Minister, actually we received this letter. First letter's copy is with me. First letter on 15th of July, not only the Chief Minister of Northeast, entire Chief Minister of this country, they call this meeting at 11 a.m. about this new Land Acquisition Act. Then subsequently they sent another letter. After this Land Acquisition Amendment Bill discussion in the evening, without any agenda, just simply about development of northeastern state. They did not mention about this the Naga Accord, Peace Accord. They didn't mention without any agenda, just simply they mentioned about development of Northeast in the evening at 7 p.m. So we thought this is without any agenda, and also they said that Sitaman, she said that intentionally all the Congress Chief Minister of Northeast, they avoid that meeting. If they mention here that mainly for this agenda Naga Accord, we will definitely come. But she is misleading the entire Northeast people, not only entire Northeast people, being a responsible union government, she should not mislead the entire nation. This is what I would like to explain. And on the other hand, the Manipur for last many years, this NSNIM, after all, they are all our brothers and sisters. We would like to bring a lasting permanent solution. But for bringing lasting permanent solution, sorry, we cannot sacrifice our territorial boundary of Manipur. Because what they are demanding, if we accept what NSNIM is demanding, more than 90% of the total geographical area of Manipur will go. So sorry, we cannot accept, we cannot compromise under any circumstance. Therefore, we are fighting for last many years. During the time of UPA government, the then previous R.S. Pandey interlocutor, we are always consulting with the state government. Every alternate month, all the issues which is proposed by the NSNIM, we are always consulting at the level of Honorable Home Minister. But this time, let us forget about consultation. Even a single word, either from the PMO or from the MSA, even they did not inform to us. So it is extremely sorry. We cannot accept it. We will fight it tooth and nail without consulting with the state government, and if their agreement is affected even a single inch of Manipur territorial, the territorial areas of Manipur. Thank you.
We can take questions if you want. We can take questions. Okay.
I am also surprised to know this peace accord. It has been placed out in the news that day. I could able to see through media only. Officially, there was no any information or congratulations for any state level.
You can take out some copies.
I tried to get copy from my office here in Delhi, our regional commissioner, to get at least one copy of signing of agreement so that we can able to react. Because immediately after the accord was signed and it was placed in the media, then local media is question us or asking us information to be given to them. It was a very difficult time in that 2-3 days. Difficult to tell the public also. It was local people they used to ask me immediate reactions about the accords, how it is benefiting for the northern states. And later on, the materials, the agreement papers were not available to us. Then from the home ministry, I inquired about the home ministry, then told me that the agreement copies are not available. So, therefore, at the last, I have to just welcome the peace process. The peace process initiated by the Union government. bring permanent peace solution to North Hemisphere. But without compromising any of the territories, and I said it should not affect any of the border states. Therefore, my point is that with Prime Minister, he could able to consult many of the chief ministers of the other states while signing, even before or after signing of the agreement. He has consulted many of the senior party leaders in various political parties. So a newspaper I was able to see. Even he has consulted some of the chief ministers also. But he forgot to consult the chief ministers of the affected states, particularly the North Eastern states. We are really surprised, and I think such harsh decisions will not bring peace, but rather it will affect the sanctity of peace. And the issue remains the coexistent relations among the tribal society. Therefore, now my request will be the copy of the agreement will be made available to us for our opinions and for our reactions. And the local people, those districts which are affected, their concerns will also be taken. They should also be consulted, and local people's view also be taken before any final decisions. So these are the few points which I would like to mention. First, we have to see the copy of the agreement. Abhi to agreement copy dekha diya to hum kaise?
Yes, can we now take questions? Sir, can we have one by one?
Yeah. It is the fact that all the chief ministers that initially welcomed the peace talk, and then now suddenly changed fact. Is that the fact or not?
No, in fact, the very first day, yes. But at the same time, I made a statement also. If it is confined to Nagaland, I myself made a statement. It is astonishing why there is a secrecy. That was my statement. I welcome if it is confined to Nagaland.
Manipur and then the others are all
Just let him answer. We'll let you ask as
If
many questions.
you read my statement, yes, welcome the peace accord, yes, even today. But before that, you should be consulted. Before, why it is keeping in secret? That is the question. Then also I made another statement. The Prime Minister should make it clear that it will not affect my state later. That was I made very, very clear. It is great. We welcome peace initiative, but it should not affect the other states. That is interesting.
Sunil, we've said today also, Indian National Congress, all its chief ministers and government, we stand for finding a lasting, peaceful solution within constitutional framework of the Naga problem. None of the chief ministers, none of the congressmen, none of the Congress-ruled states are opposed to it. We welcome the initiative. What about respecting the federal structure? What about the cooperative federalism principles? What about taking parliament, all parties, as also affected states into confidence? What about disclosing the terms of engagement and agreement? What about consulting his own ministerial colleagues, the affected ministry and the Indian Army? What about following the established principles which have been laid down by late Shri Rajiv Gandhi, both at the time of Punjab Accord, Mizo Accord and Assam Accord? This obduracy, obstinacy and arrogance of the Prime Minister and Modi government is what is appalling, because ultimately you are having complete disregard for elected state governments.
मेरा सवाल है कि जब तक प्रधानमंत्री ने डिटेल्स नहीं बताए समझौते के और सरकार की तरफ देखा जाए कि फ्रेमवर्क पे काम हो रहा है, तो ऐसा लगता है कि कांग्रेस जल्दी जंप कर रही है कि बाद में डिटेल्स क्या आएंगे, क्योंकि जब तक बाकी राज्यों का असर पता नहीं है, अब उसका विरोध कैसे करें?
क्या प्रधानमंत्री तो नहीं जल्दी समझौते की घोषणा कर गए बगैर समझौता हुए? हमारा उनसे ये प्रश्न है, अगर समझौता हुआ है तो वो क्या है, उसका प्रारूप क्या है, शर्तें क्या हैं, और अगर समझौता नहीं हुआ तो क्या आपने बगैर समझौता हुए ही अपनी पीठ थपथपा ली? प्रश्न ये है।
क्यों उन्होंने बोल रहा है ये
My first question is, Prime Minister himself claims it is a historic agreement. Framework, can it be a historic? Can a framework be a historic, a great achievement?
about it, and then after apparently Congress High Command's objection, then they changed track and deleted
No,
their
because you see my first statement. No, I tell you. You see my statement, same statement on 4th. You see the statement. Yes, I welcome, but at the same time.
One second, ma'am. Let him answer his question, then we'll take yours.
You see, that's why. You see, why keep it secret? That is why I am apprehensive. Otherwise, why should I? If I know it. But even then I will...
Ma'am, let him answer, and then we'll come to you.
Wait. Then also say, if it affects my state, I will oppose it tooth and nail. That is my statement. Welcome. Even today I am also welcome.
Just 1 second. Let me add something for your clarification. I am again saying with this, sir, I'll come to you. I am again saying with a sense of responsibility and as guided by the 3 senior-most chief ministers of the country. Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman and Modi government told a blatant lie to the nation. She misled the nation. Modi government misled the nation. They lied to the nation. Never were the chief ministers or the elected popular government consulted the negotiation process, the final terms of thereafter. It is foolhardy to say, I'm sorry for using those words, that anybody can affect the wisdom of 3 of the senior most chief ministers of the country. Perhaps Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, who has never contested an election, does not know how governments are run and you are elected for years together. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They have already said they are not.
They have
already said no.
They have been telling for the last 1
Not
hour.
only consulted, no even mentioned. Forget about consultation. Forget about consultation, they didn't mention even, after that also, not about the Prime Minister, even the Home Secretary, even the Joint Secretary, earlier everybody in touch. Wherever anything happens, Rajnath immediately, whenever there is important, sometimes Prime Minister is holding one. This time I have not received any ring, neither from the Prime Minister, nor from the Home Minister, nor my officer, my Home Secretary. He wants to know from the Home Ministry. They say they are ignorant.
Last question, please.
Yeah.
1 second.
We are not seeking any appointment.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You have to speak loudly.
This is subsequent.
Yes, yes. No.
Honestly, your question is hypothetical because this is a question that Prime Minister of the country and government of the day must answer. Because this question hinges upon what are the contours, details and conditionalities of the so-called agreement if there is one. If there is one. So we sincerely believe that Prime Minister in national interest and in the interest of respecting cooperative federalism and elected popular governments, and 3 of the senior most chief ministers of India. They are not only Congress chief ministers, they are 3 of the senior most chief ministers of the country. We hope that he now, in hindsight, instead of hiding behind lame duck excuses being put up and false excuses being put up by union minister, they now see reason and at least take the parliament, his own cabinet colleagues and the popular elected governments in confidence.
I will tell you, there should be respect. We have the respect, and the Prime Minister should have respect to the Chief Minister. That's why I said it is reciprocatory. If they keep on ignoring us, we are not going to seek a problem. I will tell you. If they, otherwise, next step we want we will demand that all the contents should be made public, should be made as known to us. Then we will react. Then we will see that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll give you, man. Sir, one photo. Sir, one clip. Sir, आप इधर आइए, सर के पास.
No, I don't say not accepting. I say
How do we know? What is the framework? Without knowing it, how can
I'm
they
not
say?
saying accepted or rejected. I say framework is not a great breakthrough. Framework is not a great historic achievement.
That is my point.
How could it be? ঐতিহাসিক কেনেকৈ হ'ব? মূল ঘূৰাই কৈছে যে কমিশ্যনটো হোৱা নাই।